Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the Universary. Today's first case is before Judge Sam Meyer in Thurston County, Washington. We have Robert and Sue Fulman versus Connor Rowland and Brittany Kalin. This is a landlord v. tenant, previous tenant case, where the landlord is saying that there is substantial damage to their home since the tenants moved out. But the tenants are saying that the house was in severe disrepair prior to them ever moving in, and in fact is part of why they moved in at such a low rental rate. All right, I look forward to hearing your thoughts, everyone. Hope you enjoy.
Mr. Susan and Robert Fulman.
I'm here, Judge.
Hi there.
I'm here also. Good morning, Judge.
Hi there. Are you, it says, are you Susan Fulman?
Yes.
Okay. And then we have Connor Rowland and Brittany Kalin. Give me just a second here.
Yeah, we're here, sir.
All right. So this is appears to be a landlord tenant case.
That's correct.
And so of the two Fulmans, who's going to speak first, or are both of you going to speak, or just one, or who wishes to speak?
Judge, I think I've submitted most of it, and I've done most of the contact with the Rowlands, so I think it'll be me.
Okay. Raise your right hand, please. You swear and affirm the information and testimony you provide will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
I do.
How is it that, give me just a second. You're asking for $7,332.42.
That's correct.
Go ahead. What's your basis for that?
Yeah, so basically I've submitted 16 documents. Probably the most important one probably would be the court case summary, Exhibit 2. I don't know if it's worth reading through the whole thing, but basically we got notice that the Rowlands would be actually leaving the premises. Basically, they were under a lease agreement, but basically they wanted to move to Eastern Oregon and take their family. Totally understood that. We set up a date to actually do a final walkthrough at the farmhouse for October 1st. When we actually arrived down there, we didn't really find anybody at the property, but we did exchange some text messages with Miss Rowland. Basically, it sounds like that they needed to take their son to an emergency room for some infection, but that they had left the key to the premises in the farmhouse. We noted that when we got there that basically there was an outbuilding across the driveway that was an older structure, older building, one of these places where there's a lot of other structures on the property, but that it had been filled pretty much almost floor to ceiling with garbage.
This was your property in Yelm?
Yes, that's correct.
Okay.
So we texted and asked what was up with the garbage in the outbuilding. And we basically got a response back that because of a rental increase that was under the second lease and basically trying to heat the home, that basically they couldn't afford garbage service. So the garbage was left in that building. We went into the house, was shocked. The house definitely was not in perfect condition. That is true. Can't really dispute that. But there was really a lack of doing anything to really make it look like somebody hadn't, lived there. They took their belongings, which was great. But there was some things left over, some chickens in the yard, a barbecue in the back with the propane tank. There was stuff left in basically the insert for the fireplace. But what we noticed was in April of the same year, we had put a carpet in for the upstairs portion, 3 bedrooms, a hallway, and also the area that's across from the bathroom. It's a little alcove and the staircase. But you could tell it was all stained, and basically it had a smell, a really heavy smell to it. So we basically hired a gentleman to come out and actually give us an assessment on the carpet, whether or not it was salvageable or not. And so that's part of the evidence there, the receipt for the removal of the trash. And then basically there was still $800 remaining as far as a security deposit that we're asking for forfeiture.
Okay, so again, how do you get that figure of 7,332? Could you
Yeah,
itemize that for me?
yeah, it's the Empire invoice is actually Exhibit 15. So I'm pulling it up at the same time or whatever like that. That's that number for the contract total of $4,477.50.
What's that for? What?
Installation of the carpet for along the staircase, the hallway, the 3 bedrooms, and the alcove across from the bathroom.
So that's 4,096 for the carpet.
Right, and the garbage invoice is Exhibit 12, I believe it is. And basically that's another $2,854.92. The garbage service, I will say they basically gave us one estimate based off of a Google Earth shot of the outbuilding that was basically way underestimated. It took them full 8 hours with 3 people actually loading up 2 large containers to take to the dump.
Okay, and then what else? So basically you got the carpet, the garbage.
And just the forfeiture of the $800 of security deposit that's left on the account.
Well, did they where is that? Did they keep that? You want them to give that back to you, or the deposit? That's with you, isn't it?
Yeah, that's with me. Yeah, no,
Okay, so
we just have,
basically then that offset against what, yeah, you did that. That would, like, say, for example, if I enter judgment in them against 5,800, and this is just an example, then you have the deposits offset that, then the judge, it becomes 5,000. See what I mean?
I do, Judge. Basically, I think what we're asking for is to not include it as a minus to what they owe us for the 2 bills. So basically, we're asking to forfeit it based on the fact that we also have to do a bunch of other work to basically clean the site, and the time that I stand by while the guys were cleaning up the garbage.
All right. So basically your 2 claims are the clean up the garbage and the carpet.
And the forfeiture of the $800.
And the deposit. Yeah, and it doesn't work that way. The deposit is a damage deposit to go against damage. So that would, things just don't work that way. It's that. Okay. So let me hear from Mr. Rowland. Could you raise your right hand? You swear and affirm the information and testimony you provide will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yes, Your Honor.
So I'll hear from you. What's your position on what you just heard?
Okay. We met Rob through the gentleman leasing the barns and grazing land on the same land the house is on. It was a mutual interest of Rob and the gentleman leasing the land for us to move in because farm equipment was getting stolen and criminals were trespassing on the property. They went as far as stealing all the copper plumbing beneath the house on the first floor of the home. The deal was that if we clean up the property, provide security, and replumb the house, we could move in for a discounted rent of $500 a month. We helped with cattle on the property whenever needed, fixed fence all the time. Anyway, it took about a month to make the inside livable and repair the plumbing. My wife rented a commercial carpet cleaner and spent hundreds of dollars on cleaning supplies. It took her more than several hours to remove the rodent stains and grime that was all over the downstairs carpet and upstairs carpet. There were dead animals found in the small compartments of the house. We found rats. We found a couple dead house cats, and we found a dead owl in the fireplace. While living there, we helped with cattle, repaired fences, made improvements to the home and outbuildings. you couldn't even walk through any of the outbuildings when we moved there.
How long did you live there?
2 years, a little over 2 years, I think.
All right, keep going.
Yeah. Anyway, we worked for a couple other ranches in the community, and we couldn't afford to pay the garbage bill the second year, and we stored it there, and we do occasional dump runs and stuff. I was in Oregon fixing up our new house for a majority of the move out. I pretty much helped one day and drove the U-Haul and moved our animals and stuff, except the chickens, I guess. And we paid some family members to do dump runs, but my brother-in-law, they grabbed stuff that was there previous to the move-in, and they didn't grab the trash that I left, and that's our mistake. And I'd like to pay the garbage bill that they have, and we just don't believe that we should pay for the carpet. We think we did a lot of repair, and we're never paid for it. I know we had discounted rental rates, and I don't know, just in our way of life, it's just different with housing and everything compared to normal careers. But anyway, we just think the damage to the new carpet's being severely exaggerated. I was there, and she carpet cleaned, and it's nothing compared to what it was when we moved in. So I don't agree with that side of it, but I'm more than happy to make a payment plan for the garbage.
All right. So what, Mr. Fullman, what's the story on this house? I mean, he told me about all these dead animals he finds in here, which is, I hear that, I find that kind of repulsive. That doesn't sound like, I mean, is that an accurate description? That tells me a lot about the condition of the house.
So, Judge, all I can really say to that is I'm not going to dispute that the house wasn't in some kind of disrepair. Basically, as Connor had stated, the gentleman that is actually leasing the farmland and the barns introduced the two of us, said that there was a young couple that was interested in renting this place because they lived and worked. They lived in Puyallup, worked in Yelm. And so we met with them. They viewed the property both with the gentleman that was grazing his cattle on our property first, looked at the house. House was not put up for rent. They came in, they viewed it with us. We discussed the way that we would handle it, not in property management, but with just Sue and I. Basically, they would take a reduced rate for the first year. We extended it to 14 months. They signed a new contract in February to start in February of 2023. We then put in new carpet. We had told them we were going to do new flooring in the downstairs eventually, but basically it doesn't look like there was any carpet cleaning done on the new carpet. They're talking about the carpet cleaning we said for the flooring, and that's not even part of our case.
All right. Well, I don't know if this is the right question, but I mean, was that place even livable? I mean, obviously they lived there, but I know people make all kinds of accommodations.
Right. So if I can answer that, Judge, or whatever.
Yes.
Again, the right about the copper piping being stolen, the water not being initiated is correct. And I think that Connor had a friend that was a plumber's apprentice, and they reestablished the water from the well for the house so that it was running water. We paid him back the money for the materials, but not the labor. That was always the agreement. Since we're only paying $500 a month, we would pay him back for material costs. When it came to the furnace, it's an old heating oil furnace. And so basically the house is an old farmhouse. It definitely needed work. So we brought down Mountain Sun and heating from, I think it's Elk Plains, and they had to reestablish the furnace. But again, this stuff, we didn't, in a sense, we almost tried to talk them out of renting it when they first went down and looked at it. I mean, in honesty, we don't do property management for this reason that we're here.
What's the state of the house now? I mean, he's told me basically what you just told me. The place had no heat, no water, no anything. They didn't make you rent the place.
That's correct.
What's the status of it now?
It's unoccupied. When they moved out, they offered a couple different options. There was I think the Miss Rowland's sister was interested in renting it. There was a guy that came by that said he was a friend of Connor's. And I don't know if he was the person that they had in mind to pick up the chickens, but he didn't do that. But we've left it because of this experience. We're not interested in renting it to others.
Okay. What's your long-term plan for it?
At least for right now, we still have it under the pasture rental with the rancher, which just basically pays for taxes on the place. Generally speaking, I don't know. Eventually we'll probably subdivide it or something, but it's probably a while down the road. Sue and I work both full-time jobs, and so we're not looking to be property managers.
All right. Well, here's what I'm going to do here for today. So I'll find for the plaintiff in the sense that I'm not going to award for the carpet. I'm going to award for the garbage cleanup. That'd be $2,854.92. I'll deduct $800 of the damage deposit. So the principal judgment amount will be $2,054.92. There'll be a filing fee of $50, service fee of. Did you have to pay someone to get someone served, Mr. Fullman?
I did.
How much?
It was $51.50 just because of I think the cost of using a credit card.
So $51.50 for service. Total judgment amount will be. Give me just a minute.
Judge, could I ask one question?
Yes. And when I'm done, you can.
Oh, okay. I'm sorry.
Go ahead. What's your question?
Oh, it was just the cost for the carpet tech to come out and give the estimate on the carpet damage. It was a third party. It wasn't somebody that I did, and I didn't want to use my opinion on the carpet. So we paid $75 to have the carpet examined and assessed.
Okay, I'm not going to award for that. I mean, it strikes me that this, I mean, I'll be blunt with you there, Mr. Fullman. I mean, This is kind of just an unlivable situation with someone moving into a place with no water, no heat, and probably couldn't pass any sort of inspection for being able to be rented. And then they did that, and Mr. Rowland and Ms. Rowland were kind of upfront about what happened. I mean, and then you're asking for, and the carpet, I mean, it sounds like the place was in horrible shape to begin with, to be frank with you. And then with around the carpet and your future plans, you're not going to rent it, don't know exactly what I'm going to do with it. I'm just not going to enter a judgment in the amount of replacing the apartment for a building that probably needs to be completely redone before it can be, which doesn't have anything to do with anything done by the Rowlands. And so that's why I decided not to do that. And I'm not going to do the $75 either. But the total judgment amount, by the time you add the filing fee and the service fee, $2,156.42. You understand that, Mr. or Ms. Rowland?
Yes, sir.
That's it for today. You both are free to leave the Zoom call.
Okay.
All right, we've got a couple of Aaron's sales and lease cases, which frankly are kind of troubling to me. I've got both of them. First one is Aaron Sales and Lease versus Kendra Schmidt. File number is 3431 SC. Mr. Rogelio Segundo, who is the current manager and collection clerk at Aaron Sales and Lease, is here with us. Mr. Segundo, would you raise your right hand? You swear or affirm any testimony you're about to give in this matter will be true to the best of your knowledge and belief?
I do.
I get these two mixed up, but in each case, very few payments were made. Let's talk about Kendra Schmidt first, the lady from Mendon. She's got the furniture, but refused to let you come collect it. Is that correct?
Yeah, we called the cops because she threatened us with a gun when my project technicians went out there. And she had a roommate too. I think her name was Nicole Ganos. She had scheduled returns with us because she also had stuff, but they wouldn't let us in to return. She only made the first initial payment on it. Brand new stove, brand new sectional.
My mind, that's a crime. It's a couple things. It's failed to return rented property, and it's larceny by false pretenses. Getting anyone to authorize it or prosecute it, I suppose, is another thing. I used to charge these, but offends my sensibilities when someone gets brand new expensive appliances, makes one payment, refuses to make any further payment, and waits to get sued and threatens you with a gun. Anyway, she's not here. Default judgment in the amount of $2,539.38 plus court costs is a total of $2,666.97. That's our service. Personally served. And the next one's about the same, $150 payment. Aaron's Sales and Lease versus Mary Wilma. This property was an electronic device, a television.
No, it was a speaker, an Edison speaker.
One payment was made, no payments ever after.
No, she came in 2 weeks after she got it, told us it was stolen, and good luck getting it back. I told her I was gonna file against her unless she brings a police report in and makes payments on it. She said she wasn't gonna do that. So this Saturday she ended up returning it. The buttons were broken at the top. She's held on to it for 5 months. All I want to do is charge her the background for it. But yeah, she did come in Saturday saying she was going to be at this court to explain her side of the story. She said she had a police report. She had proof that she got hacked and couldn't make her payments and
Even
stuff.
so, let's say I buy a new car and it gets stolen. I still owe the car dealership.
Right.
And it's so easy to just claim it was stolen. Well, how much is back rent?
5 months. Each month was $105.99. Total would be $529.95 plus a $50 repair fee.
All right, plus costs of $63.50. $529.95, is that the figure?
Yep.
$579.95 plus $63.50 in cost. $643.45. Fine by default. All right, Both defendants were personally served and neither of them appeared. She was served by certified mail. All right, Mr. Segundo, that takes care of our cases for today. Best of luck collecting on these.
All right. Thank you.
All right, thank you.
All right, and our final case for today is back in front of Judge Meyer. We have Jackie Borders versus Red Leaf Townhomes. This is another case of a landlord trying to overcharge a tenant's security deposit after they've moved out. And like some of my previous videos, you can see these tenants really had their stuff together. Hope you enjoy.
So Mr. and Ms. Borders, you're on the Zoom call there. And it looks like Ms. Carr from the Red Leaf Townhomes. Give me just a minute and call up this case. So this involves a damage deposit?
That is correct.
All right. Give me just a second. So Ms. And Mr. and Ms. Borders, who's going to speak first, I guess?
I will, sir.
Okay, so I have in front of me, again, this was a damage deposit, which was in the amount of $750. And then I have in front of me the itemized list of, and so if I understand you correctly, your position is you want the whole damage deposit back. And then,
No.
and so from the board, from Red Leaf Townhomes, they have a list of things that they itemized that they deducted from the damage deposit. So it's $750. They deducted a total of $551.88. They sent you a check for $198.12, which my understanding is you sent back. And so I guess what I would like to know then is just go through those things. A lot of stuff has been filed here, but really what it comes down to is whether or not, the way I see it, is whether or not the Red Leaf Townhomes appropriately submitted those deductions. And I guess I would just have you go through there and tell me why what they deducted was not appropriate. Does that make sense?
Yes, sir. Judge.
Could you raise your right hand, please?
Yes,
Swear and affirm the information and testimony you provide will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth.
I do.
And I'll sir, when it comes time to you, I'll swear you in separately. But thank you for that. But I'll swear you in separately if you choose to testify. But go ahead, Ms. Borders. I'll hear from you.
So what it was is the cleaning. The damage I didn't have a problem with because my husband did with the refrigerator part was damaged. And then there was an outlet that was damaged. And yes, we do have the right to pay that. When they sent me the under $200 check, and mainly it was an itemized list for cleaning, and it was cleaned. My husband had requested from Naomi receipts showing what the cleaning part was for $375. And where they got their item, and I was sent an itemized list is what I was sent, and not for the damages they did let us know about, and I definitely agree with the damages.
Okay, so this is just basically over the cleaning bill then, is that what you're saying?
That is correct, sir.
Looks like there's 2 cleaning bills, 2-bedroom full unit, and then 2-bedroom carpet clean. Ms. Carr, could you raise your right hand, please? Do you swear and affirm the information and testimony you provide will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yes.
Okay. So actually, before you do that, Ms. Borders, is the cleaning, are you saying both the 375 and the 75 or just the 375?
The 375. I had requested that $580 be sent back to us.
Got it. Ms. Carr, I'll hear from you.
Yes, hi. So the 375 is what we were charged by our cleaning company after the cleaning that they completed was done. The lease that we had the residents sign when they moved in, including the we went in and had them sign a tenant's responsibilities upon vacating form, which states that the unit is to be cleaned, and to provide receipts for that as well. Once a resident moves out, we take photos of every item in the home and send that to them, which we did too. Once they vacated, all the photos were sent via email and in paper form. There was a total of 12 items. 13 items that were left unclean, which came to a total of $650 as per their lease charge rate sheet, which you will see attached as well. So instead of charging them the $50 per item, we charged them the $375, which is what our cleaners charged us.
Okay. And did you see that, ma'am, Ms. Borders?
I seen that today, that what they sent. We requested it upon after my husband immediately emailed Naomi of what they were going to send us back as a deposit, and we never got the receipts until we took them to court.
Okay. Well, now that you have it, I mean, does that?
Do I agree with it, Judge? No, I still do not agree with it, because the place was clean. If you look at our photos, my recordings showing that the place was cleaned. It wasn't clean to their liking, but it was definitely cleaned. It was spots here and there that they charged us.
How long did you live there?
I lived there 2 years.
All right. Give me a minute. And then Mr. Borders, did you wish to say anything?
Not at this time, sir.
Okay. So Ms. Carr.
Yes.
So I'm looking at the tenant obligations, what you read. Is that provide a receipt to the building manager for professional cleaning service? Is that what you were talking about?
Yes, and they did provide the receipt from the cleaning company that they hired, which is also attached. That cleaning receipt states that they cleaned the blinds, the refrigerator, toilets. But as you can see with the photos that we've sent in, their blinds in some of the rooms were not clean, including the toilets, the bathtub. So there was items that were not left clean.
I see. And then the carpets says 185, but you only charge 75 on that. Is that right?
That is correct, because the lease states that for our 2-bedroom units, we charge the 75 instead of what our actual cleaners charge us.
I see. So, Ms. Borders, you hired someone to clean the place, but then from what I'm understanding from Ms. Carr, it wasn't clean to their liking. Is that basically where we're at?
Yes, and I did go back in there. So the day that the cleaning lady came in was on my birthday, the 29th. Then my husband and I came back early that next day on the 30th, and we went through the whole, I went through the whole place because I have OCD. And so I went through the whole place and did the floors, if you see that the floors are spotless, and went through the kitchen and went through the bathrooms as well. So I'm not sure the little things that I seen there, it's not the pictures that I seen is not corresponding with my video that I took on the 30th. And I went directly to Naomi I called her and asked her, could we do a walkthrough? She said, we don't do walkthroughs, we just take pictures. So, and I had to accept that. And so then when I had videotaped it, I gave her the keys, and that was the end of it until I got my papers in the mail, the pictures in the mail that they sent.
Got it. Anything further, Ms. Carr?
No, sir.
Okay. All right, so if I'm looking through the tenant responsibilities, where they were hire a professional cleaning service and provide a receipt for that, which they did. Looking through it's hard to tell much from these pictures. And so frankly, and combined with Ms. Border's testimony, I find as follows, that the deposit, I'm basically going to cross out the 375, not charge the Borders for that. Everything they'll be charged, when you look at 750 minus the charges that they agreed to, plus the carpet clean, it's a total of $573.12. So I'll award a judgment. And again, it's not against you personally, ma'am. Naomi Carr and Red Leaf, I think, are served. Judgment won't be against you personally. It will only be against the Red Leaf townhomes, which I suspect that the deposit check will be issued fairly quickly. And that's what I'll do here today. A judgment will be entered in that amount. There'll be a $50 filing fee. Give me just a minute. Total of $623.12. And you're both free to leave the Zoom call.
Judge, thank you.
Thank you.